All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. This morning, we're going to talk about conversations being the best currency. Conversations are the best currency. We're going to break down why. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having an awesome morning. Let's jump right in this morning. This is going to be a quick one, but hopefully an effective one. Conversations are the best currency is the title this morning. And a couple of things that I wanted to touch on here is just the general idea, the general importance of meeting new people. You know, one of the things that I would point to as one of the most powerful shifts that happened in my life is when I figured out how to connect with more people, right? So literally setting a daily goal for how many new people I'm going to connect with. And there's a million different ways to do that. Could be via social media. You could be using Instagram or Clubhouse or LinkedIn, whatever that may be. You could be calling people on the phone. You could be going to networking events. But how many new people are you communicating with every day? Or are you in a position in your life where you are just, kind of rinse and repeat? You're going through the same day over and over and over again, and there's not a whole lot that's different about it. So when you think about that, when you think about how many new people did you communicate with last week, right? Did you put yourself in positions that would allow you to meet these new people? I'll give you an example. I was talking to a client last night, and that client I hadn't spoken to until late last year, but I was able to reconnect with that client. And one of the conversations that we had was about him being in Clubhouse rooms that I was in. So not a new person, but a great example of what happens when you position yourself in environments to meet new people, to be on these platforms, to be able to network and create a reach that is beyond the one that you have right now. And so ask yourself that question today. How many new people are you actually communicating with every single day? And do you have a goal for that? If you don't have a goal for that, I would 100% recommend that you make one today and that you stick to that. And it doesn't matter if that goal is, hey, I'm going to talk to 3 new people today, 10 new people today, whatever it is. I'm going to communicate with 3, 5, 10 people that do not know me today that I'm going to bring into my circle of influence, right? I'm going to put my name in front of them. I'm going to introduce myself to them. I'm going to let them know who I am, or I'm at least going to get in their visibility. All right. The number of new connections and conversations that you have will 100% determine your future. You increase the number of people that you meet, your income and results will follow. I promise you, because as you meet people and you tell people what you do and you get good at these conversations and you get good at, telling people who you are, what you do, how you do it, why you're passionate about it, those people are going to start to flow things your direction. We just had a huge meeting this week that came from a connection that I made last year. And that connection has paid dividends over and over and over again, right? From friendship to business to this opportunity that we just had. If I didn't take the time to make new connections, none of that would have happened. And so conversations are the best currency. Who are you having them with? Are you having them with the same exact people every single day? Every day is pretty much the same, just a different set of tasks? Or are you taking the time to start conversations with the right people? And then last but not least on my list here is, are you actually listening to people when you meet them? Are you having meaningful conversations? Are you actually going in depth with a person? One of the questions that I wrote down here, something you've probably heard me say before, are you trying to be interested or are you trying to be interesting? Are you trying to learn about the other person or are you trying to talk about yourself the whole time? Those conversations that you have with the people that you meet are going to determine how far you go, what that person thinks of you when they walk away from the conversation. Were you interested? Or were you trying to be interesting? Were you focused on them or were you focused on yourself? When you have these conversations, they're meaningful. You ask questions, you get to know somebody. You can trigger some emotion from the conversation from asking them meaningful questions about things that are important to them, whether it be their business, their family, their children, what they enjoy doing. If you know they're into something, sports or something like that, you can have those conversations. You get their emotions going. Those emotions cement that experience in their brain. So when you're having these conversations, the amount of currency that you can collect from them, the amount of value that you get is based on how you handle those conversations. Think about what you're doing. Evaluate every conversation that you have and say, could that have been better? How could I have handled that conversation differently? How could I have gotten more out of that conversation? Could I have talked about myself less and asked more questions of them? Being a mystery, being mysterious, when they walk away from a conversation, you know everything about them and they don't know quite as much about you. That can create a natural draw for them to want to talk to you again. So conversations are powerful, guys. If you're not having them with new people every day, you need to fit that into your life. You need to find a way. And if you're not on platforms that allow you to do that, or you don't have that routine built into your life where you're having conversations with new people, new prospects, new potential friends, new potential referral partners, whatever. There's a million different aspects of your life and buckets of your life that can be filled by meeting new people. Those conversations that you have 100% determine your future. The value of those conversations, the depth of those conversations will create more currency for you in that relationship. They call some things that we do online digital currency, likes, comments, shares, things like that. Those are ways to get people's attention. That's how we exchange digital currency. If I see something of yours that I relate to, I will 100% like or comment on that because I want to exchange digital currency with you. I want to build a relationship with you. And I can do that through an online conversation. I can also do that from an offline conversation, person to person, at a trade show, at a networking event, at, in a networking group that I might be part of. Million ways to connect with people. Make sure that you are leveraging several of them. You have to have a well-rounded approach to creating new relationships, and you have to have a very intentional approach to these conversations that you have. If you're not evaluating the conversations that you have, that would be the equivalent of never looking at whether or not you actually closed a deal successfully in a business transaction. It matters. How many people you're bringing into your life based on conversations matters. Are you effective in doing that? Think about it. Conversations are the best currency, guys. Doesn't matter if they're online, offline, what they are. Make sure you're having them. Set yourself a goal for how many people you want to meet. Make a list of some of the people that you would love to interact with, that maybe are people you look up to. When you have those conversations, it'll energize you, it'll motivate you, it'll inspire you to keep doing it because those people will pour into you. I had a conversation with a guy last night. He said, man, you spent time on the phone with me. What can I do to help you? And I said, man, these conversations are helpful for me just as much as they are for you. I don't do things to get something in return. I don't help people to get something in return. I do it because I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy getting to know people. I enjoy what comes of those relationships that we establish. It builds a full life. You meet a lot of people. You go to a city, you're never a stranger because you've had great conversations. You've had great relationships come from those conversations. And the best currency that you can get is being interested, not trying to be interesting. And I want you to remember that. When you genuinely want to know more about another person than you care about telling your own story, It shows self-confidence in yourself, that you don't have to talk about yourself all the time. It shows genuine care for other people, and people are attracted to that. I asked this question in the top contractor school training that I did yesterday. I asked people, how many people actually listen to you and genuinely want to know the answer? Think about that in your own life and then relate it to this topic. Conversations are the best currency. When you're having conversations, are you bringing value to them? Are you genuinely listening? Because I believe there's only a handful of people that genuinely listen to us in our own lives. Most people are just passing by. They're having a conversation with you, but they're not really dialed in. They're looking at their phone. They're checking something else out. They're distracted by what they got to do later. They're not genuinely listening. If you could have conversations that include you genuinely listening and genuinely being excited for hearing other people's stories, you're going to collect a lot of friends. And those conversations that you have will not just create relationship currency, value within your relationship, but they will eventually 100% produce a massive amount of income and success and progress in your life. That's all I got for today, guys. I hope this message was helpful. If it was, please share it out to your page. Was running a little late this morning, so we're about an hour and a half behind when we normally do this show. So if you could help me get it to the people that might have missed it this morning, man, I would appreciate it. And if you guys aren't subscribed on the podcast platforms, please go do that. The links are right here in the description on the Facebook Live. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, do that. I've got some content pumping on TikTok as well. If you guys are TikTok people, I think I'm just new on TikTok. So I'm like 4 subscribers. I'm 4 followers away from 100. So man, if I could get to 100 today, that'd be a good day. April 21st would be an epic day if I could get to 100 followers on TikTok today. Hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So if you guys aren't following me on those other platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, just go subscribe. Leave a review if you could on the podcast. That would be awesome too. Drop some comments on YouTube. But man, I appreciate you guys being here with me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for following this. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for the messages over the past few weeks, man. It means the world to me. And I will see you guys again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, by the way, we have a special episode. We have Eddie Brown, Vicky Everett, and Bruce Pulver, and they are talking about a very special topic. My man Eddie is doing some incredible things, and you want to tune into that episode. It's going to be good. We're doing some Mother's Day stuff tomorrow morning, raising some money to help some special people. So tune in. I don't want to give you too much. I want you to come in and listen. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.